Wow, it's a beautiful, sunny, but cold January day. And this video is for you if you are thinking, wouldn't it be nice to head out of, well, the city or the country you're currently living in and make a new life in beautiful, central, rural Portugal. Ooh.
Allons ensemble découvrir ma liberté, oublier dans tout, tous vos clichés, bienvenue dans ma réalité. Benissimo.
Fai una posizione da carpentiere, da...
Hello. You're right. My goodness me, what a day. Right, off to see some friends now, but I'll let them introduce themselves. That's not Alfie. Where's he gone? Hello, doodle-doo. Yeah. Oof. I was got eaten the other day. Oh. Gave you an egg inside the house. Hello, pussycats. Hello. Meow.
Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Mandy. Hello. So our channel's called Planet Portugal. We basically show us living on our farm, the day-to-day life, the renovating of the old house, and recently the finding of the old Roman mine.
It's an amazing thing. It started off as a hole in the floor, that big.
Like you didn't fall in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It
Well,
was dangerous.
we'd been rolling IBCs over the top of it a few days before.
Yeah. And the ground is only that thick.
Oh wow. That's a large hole in the ground there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't go. Are you going to go down as well?
I'll have a quick look.
Well, you go down as well. Don't
Go that way. Yeah.
Well, you can.
I think that having the two hats on doesn't work.
Length first.
Down here.
Yeah. This is all
Gosh.
falling in.
Yeah, that's quite a lot of digging out to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look
And
at
the
this.
walls are quite flaky.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the ceiling being flaky than the wall.
And that's bad a leak, really.
Wow, isn't this amazing though? The amount of work to chop this out. Well, you're going to have to at some stage go through there.
Yeah. That's the plan.
In the summer, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, what an amazing place.
Niches in the walls.
Presumably for candles.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
And
But you've got a big video out of this. I'll put that down in the description.
it's capped with slate.
Oh wow, isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So they presumably had an idea that it was going to fall in a bit at some stage.
Yeah, to stop the muck going into it.
And this side is less stable.
It's all right so far.
Yeah.
You mean it hasn't fallen in yet? Wow.
But have a wander down.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Just don't
Watch the walls. And,
Oh yes, I see the walls are actually made of sort of sand, basically. Well, I'm actually not going to go there because it's slightly deeper than I sort
It's
of
not
first
bad.
appeared.
it's not bad at all.
Gosh, you were lucky it didn't just collapse in when you were walking over it.
The width of this soil here. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and this is not anything but soil, is it? Here.
It's just
Wow.
yeah.
Ooh, Who'd have thunked it? So it really does go all the way back here, and you've got the well down there, have you?
Mine's right over there.
Mm. No, I've got my deepest water mine that I've been in. I suppose it's about 10 meters.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit of caving back in the UK, so I'm quite used to it, but I don't put myself in any danger whatsoever.
He sends me in instead.
Yes. Well, these things do need maintenance. So perhaps we should ask the obvious question, and that is why Portugal, and why specifically this part of Portugal?
Our choice was limited by finance.
Budget, yeah.
And we wanted a specific house, which was a country house, above ground, not dug into a cliff,
Yeah.
because of damp issues. Are you alright there?
She's panicking because she's hot, but...
And basically, we spotted this lovely looking granite house.
To be fair, there were quite a few we were looking at, but they were all over.
Yeah.
Weren't they? They were dotted everywhere.
Yeah, but it was also cost. That was a major factor.
We wanted something that we could move over and live in while we renovate, rather than just an old room with no roof.
And have to live in a caravan or something like that, which
Yeah.
not good.
Well,
Well,
how big is your land, for example?
It's 1.35 hectares.
We actually bought this in 2020,
Yeah.
so the prices were low anyway. We paid €32,000 for this.
Yeah.
So £28,000 ish.
Yeah.
And that's including all the fees, everything. So it's it was such a bargain. we couldn't say no.
What else attracted you to Portugal as
Obviously,
opposed to anywhere else?
Yeah. Obviously the weather.
Well, we thought a Mediterranean country. It's miles away from UK, and we actually thought it'd be all like you see on beaches in Algarve throughout Portugal, and the realisation is it's not. It's really not. And because we're up in the hills, we get the mist, we get the fog, we get quite bad winds coming up the valley.
And in summer, it's extreme.
Yeah, it gets very,
Hot.
very hot.
Yeah. But we took people from Yorkshire, and
Oh, it's a lot worse in Yorkshire.
yeah,
It's
Well,
a
you
lot
could,
worse in
yeah.
Yorkshire.
I mean, I have to say it has been of late very, very cold and very, very wet, and I guess that was something I naively thought we were going to leave behind in the UK.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I always
Not
thought.
to the extremes it sometimes gets.
Yeah.
I mean, we had quite a covering of snow, didn't we, the other week?
Up here, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And-
yeah.
due to snow this weekend.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I thought it'd all be sunshine and palm trees and not been to Portugal before, so I thought it was like, oh great, holiday mode.
I would
Yeah.
rather it be as it is than when you start to go a bit further south and it's barren.
Yes, we deliberately chose this area because it is, well, it has 4 seasons,
Yeah.
and it isn't as hot in the summer as it is down south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, we struggled at. I think we got up to 45 degrees here,
45,
and that was hot.
45,
That
yeah.
was very hot.
And we were
Like,
still working in it.
Well, we didn't sell it, didn't we? In basement bit.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish you had known before you made the move here?
One of the main things is we are in a natural park, and there are an awful lot of restrictions on what you can do. There's not. It's just.
You see other YouTube channels and they're putting buildings up left, right, and centre. We're not allowed to do that.
No.
We've got to ask permission. We get a certain allocation for the amount of land we've got that we can have a covered area. Other than that, we've got to ask permission again.
Yeah. And permissions aren't just you ring them up and they say yes, it's an application for permissions to put a fence up, to put a gate up, to put a bigger window in your house, all this kind of stuff. And it just takes forever.
I think if we had this time again, we'd buy somewhere that were not in the mountains. Although we have got this incredible view, it's quite isolating where we are.
Yeah.
And our track's quite bad.
Yeah, so access.
And it's quite steep.
We would reconsider transport. The cost of cars.
Oh. We paid $5,500 for a 25-year-old Opel Frontera. As regarding public transport, we do have the bus come down to the village.
Yep.
We do have a shop in the village.
Yeah.
We have a pharmacy.
Taxis are in the village, and the coach routes to and from the airport. The coaches are amazing.
That's to Garda,
I came down from Porto Airport down to Guarda, and it cost about €17, and it was leather seats, aircon. Oh, it was beautiful. No stops, direct drive. So the coaches are great.
This was a clinker-built shed, basically.
Yeah,
wasn't it? Block barn.
Block barn.
Dirt floor, a digger in that corner that we used for a shower for a while.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I remember that.
Wriggly tin roof that was propped up with all sorts of stuff.
Falling in.
And a dirt floor. It was
and a tiny wooden door there that he kept banging his head on.
It's just plugging away at it.
What of the costs of building materials? I mean, because a lot of people come out here with the romantic idea that you're going to restore a ruin and buy something cheap and make it amazing.
Yeah.
What of the pitfalls there?
If it's sand, gravel, cement, lime, I think we're looking about €5 a bag for cement. Sand you buy by the cubic or metre or square.
Gravel's really cheap.
And
Really cheap.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
granite chips.
Granite chips. You buy a cubic metre or a square metre or a cubic tonne.
I think it's about €40, isn't it?
I think it's less than that.
It's really cheap.
If you buy wood from a place like a B&Q outlet, there's similar ones in Portugal, it's expensive. If you go direct to a wood yard, and we are in a forestry area, so there's wood yards. Well, there's one just down at the end of this valley. There's the dotted around. If you buy it direct from the wood yard, they'll cut it to size. The only drawback is it's green wood, so you have to store it and dry it out.
Right, well, we'll leave your pigeon behind. Thank you very much indeed for giving us your insights into living in this wonderful place.
You're very welcome.
Our pleasure.
Gosh, this wind. Not going to put very much sound into this bit. I think it's going to be music. Oh wow! Yes, that would make an amazing hot tub type thing, wouldn't it?
Not quite as spectacular as yours.
That's lovely, right? I guess at this time of year people are thinking about, oh gosh, it's cold and it's wet and it's horrible. Wouldn't it be lovely to go somewhere sunny? and as you can see, today is a beautiful day. However, it's not always like this. This is actually the second really nice day we've had in a week. It's been raining a lot, and that is good, of course, because we do need water. We do need to top up the aquifers. One of the realities of life is that there is actually nowhere perfect. There are always going to be downsides and upsides to any place. For example, one thing that can be slightly irritating here is it's very, very difficult to get parcels delivered. There are ways around it, but it's certainly not as, how shall we say, convenient as it might be. That said, there are still loads and loads of shops, you might call them sort of mum and pop shops, that do really serve the needs. So you don't need the online experience quite so much. I think I'm going to cheat and go and get the chainsaw. Wow, that was a bit quicker. So the sun has now just gone down over the other side of the hill, and in the summer that's actually a real blessing, because when it's really, really hot, it's quite nice not here to have the blazing sun right in your face up until the, well, late evening. However, the temperature just fell off a cliff. In. Started snowing, so I'm going to pop down to the supermarket and get some supplies, because it's due to set in over the weekend, and then we're going to do another interview.
Yeah, I've been a musician and an artist, and now I'm sort of being the...
Is there anything in particular that you wish you had known before you came to Portugal?
Speak Portuguese.
I think that's quite a common theme. How is your Portuguese?
So embarrassingly bad. Like I am mortified and embarrassed by it. I mean, when I was in the south, didn't need it at all. I mean, you just didn't need it. Everyone spoke English, so I never ever had to think that. But being here and being rural, my definitely biggest problems in life was retaining. You know, as I said, I'm a musician. If I hadn't played a song for 6 months, that I might have played 2,000, 3,000, however many times, it's gone. And it's my own songs as well. So that's why I also really struggle to even feel motivated, because I know that the way my brain does not and does work, I'm really at a disadvantage. No, but you know the way people might say in England, oh, come to England, you should learn to speak the language, get all language like that. I'm not one of those people, but having said that, I understand what they mean. As in, you know, if you want to come and you want to integrate, you should learn the language. And I've totally not done that. You know what I mean? So I feel I know what kind of people in England would be to people like who do come in, and I feel like local people here must think that of me and think this guy's coming on. But also I think like everything is on a spectrum, on a scale, and without trying to throw myself as some kind of victim category because it does sound like it. I definitely, like I said, we limit ourselves obviously by what we say, but also I have spent 53 years in my own body. I didn't learn to read till I was 12.
Wow.
I could never read the time. That made me cry, but you know, I had proper learning difficulties really. So I'm kind of aware of my strengths and my massive limitations. So it's not that I'm not making an effort, it's just this does not do that for me. It never did. You know, I could barely, you know, read. I really struggled. So it's like, that's one of my paintings. It's called Band of Musicians. It's from a children's book that I illustrated, that I wrote. And I feel like I've turned into that guy. I painted this like about 20 years ago, and that is who I have become. With my hat on and my little grey hair. But, and that's why when I mentioned about animation, I mean,
I can see that
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
already moving.
Exactly. So, I mean, I got diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 36, and you probably won't know any of this in, so if you want to stop the thing with going off subject.
No, not at all. I mean, you know, a little bit of background is.
But my then partner, she worked in a drug rehabilitation centre.
Okay.
And it was one of the first things she said that they would do when they had new people come, because there was such a pattern of people failing at school, but knowing that they were clever, like having a sort of a feeling or a knowledge that, but I don't get this, that everyone else is getting, I don't get that, but I can tell them, you know, and they have a different, they have different abilities, they have different ways of seeing, different ways of processing, different ways of problem solving, all those kind of things. And so when they would fail at school, and they would fail, and then they would fail, and then, you know, ultimately they find themselves quite often then getting into drugs and heroin, you know, whatever it was.
Wow.
Like, because of that pain, that sort of, you know, you've gone through, you felt like a failure, you've been told you're a failure, like you were saying about teachers not getting and going, you know, and so you feel bad, your self-esteem's low. That's what happens to people. They fall through the cracks, they end up doing that. And it was one of the ways, the cornerstones of bringing them back into some kind, building them back up again, was giving them a diagnosis and then going, you're not stupid, this is what it is. No one knew it then, but they know it now. I mean, and funnily enough for me, because like I said, I got that diagnosis when I was 36. When I was about 27, I actually contacted Dyslexia Society.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, I'd really like to have a test because I suspect that probably this is the case. And they said, okay, yeah, you can have a test, but it's going to cost you £400. I was like unemployed. And I thought, so basically, if I'm not dyslexic, I am stupid, and I'm going to have that confirmed again by giving you £400 to tell me I'm stupid.
I think that is, yes, giving the 400 quid probably is a test there.
but that in itself is quite an irony. Though. I was like, well, I am not that stupid. Though. I'm going to give you £400 to tell me I'm stupid. But you know, when I had that test when I was 36, it was quite life changing because I remember being tearful like I was then, because when I sat with this woman, she did a test with her. And I thought, God, if she just now says, no, you're not dyslexic, you know, I'm going to be then, oh, God, I am just stupid, you know, severe. So, yeah, learning language is not my strong side.
So have you done all the work on the house yourself, or?
No, I mean, coming here, for me, I mean, I remember saying to Claire, who really fell in love with this place and really wanted it, and I thought it was too much of a stretch on so many levels, really. But I eventually said to her, look, if you really want to do this, we'll do it, but this is going to be the steepest learning curve in my life. No, it is. And I always sort of say I vastly underestimated how much work that was going to be. 2 years in. I mean, I'm getting there, but I knew it was going to be tough because it's like everything is new. I mean, I think the first time I ever really stringed, I stringed up there and I did 3 hours.
Oof. And
then I went into spasm and I was lying on the floor. I couldn't move. I was like, oh my God. Totally like, you know, and somebody said, oh no, don't do that. Don't do like 3 hours straight. So yeah. But building, we had a guy here for a while. He's now moved on. You know, it is tough finding some. The highlights are the fact that it has been a steep learning curve. But I feel like I'm getting there on some levels. I feel like this year I might not be as nervous about the fires because I really feel like the last few years I never quite got to the point where I want to be at this year. You know, I'm just cleaning all the walls and stuff. But yeah, we do have a wonderful pool that we got built. But I mean, like everything here is like, that really wasn't easy. It's like sometimes you're so capable, you know, and you can work and work and work. I mean, when we pick the olives, it's like if I get into that, I'm in the zone, and I just don't want to stop, and I love it. You know, I mean, first thing in the morning to last thing at night, I'm just full on. Look at those 2 gorgeous things.
Yeah.
Got to learn to play with them. We're out tuning.
I hadn't realised they had the shorter string.
Oh yeah, this.
Yes, I've not seen that before.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's strung like a violin, so they'll learn how to sort of deal with that. And that's strung like an open G, which I'm kind of used to playing on the guitar, but at the same time, you've got one string missing, so it's kind of like a bit more confusing.
Yes.
Just relearning everything.
Hello.
Siamo delle piccole. Really? Siamo piccoli porcelli, siamo 3 fratelli, mai nessuno ci dividerà. Tra la 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 la. Il più piccolo dei 3 ad un tratto grida uè. Da lontano vedo un lupo arriva, non lasciamoci pigliare. Siamo 3 piccoli porcelli, siamo 3 fratelli, mai nessuno ci dividerà. Tra la 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 la. La.
Are you upside down with your poison yet? You're so cute. Good morning. What is going on out here? Are you sure you want to go out? Wow. Very stuck to the branches, isn't it? Baby. Wow. The weight of this snow is pretty impressive, actually. Well, the trees are supporting quite a lot of load. Baby. Are you alright? Wow, beautiful. Wow, here we are wandering through a winter wonderland. Oh, the crunch of snow underfoot. Really lovely. sun's out, and actually you can really feel its warmth, and the snow is, he says, nearly falling over, melting quite quickly. And just wandering up here, this is the bit which we've been rewilding, as it were, and that's really just entailed removing all of the undergrowth, the broom and the brambles, because that's what really provides a fuel source for fire, and it's actually turning into really quite a nice, lovely little woodland. Wow. It's funny how the snow drains everything of colour, isn't it? And in the valley they've got fairly thick fog, and we're just on the cusp of the clouds here. Some beautiful blue sky. What are you doing, number 3? Is this what's called a polecat?